Check 1 2. Okay, so we're gonna install WobbleBoss on a Mac in this video in Logic, and then what else we'll do is, in case the actual VST or AU gives you problems, we also give you guys all the WAV files. I'm gonna quickly teach you how to use those WAV files within the EXS sampler. Okay, so here we go. You'll scroll down to the bottom, you'll buy it, you'll come to this page, sort of like your thank you for purchasing and download here page. And you'll grab the Mac AU. Grab this download, not this one. Okay, right underneath this box is the download file that our system spits out at you. But for whatever reason, it redirects to the exact same file as this. But for whatever reason, this one sometimes corrupts the download. So please don't use that one. Only use this one up here. Okay. Once you download that, download all of the WAV files. Everything comes in a zip. So you'll have to unzip it once it's in. Down here, this first bit is a PC bonus, unfortunately, only, unless you guys know how to use DLLs within a Mac. I've tried unsuccessfully. But they're there if you need them, if you want them, or if you do have a PC as well and want to use them within your PC. And a couple other free bonuses you guys get. So once you got them all downloaded, you'll see something like this. Open up the zip file for the main download. You'll see these three files. The first thing you need to do is run this MSP runtime package. It's a shared library. And then once you're done that, you will drag your WobbleBoss component into your actual components of your Mac. And to get to this, it's Macintosh hard drive, your library, your audio, your plugins, and components. And then whatever other components you put in here is what all of your audio apps will resort to when it's scanning them. Okay, when it scans for the first time, when you open this up in Logic or whatever else you're using, you need to open this up and grab your serial number. It'll ask you for a serial on first run. After that first run, you're good to go. And you can bypass that screen, but you won't be able to use it. It'll just say instrument not found or some kind of error. So once you're good to go there, what I'll do here is open up Logic and show you guys how this works within Logic. And then I'll also mention not to forget to grab these, and I'll show you guys how to use these by creating simple EXS folders and then assigning those samples to your keyboard, or your, if not your MIDI keyboard, your computer keyboard, because you can use that too. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're going to open a new empty project in Logic. By this time, it'll scan your AUs and ask you for that serial number. You'll dump it in, open a new software instrument, and then in your in-outs, you'll go down to your MIDI instruments, or your AU instruments, sorry, WobbleBoss, and stereo. Give it a moment to load, and there we have it. If you have a MIDI controller hooked up, make sure you get sounds out of it. I'll walk through these very, very quickly. These first couple, until you get to the drums, 5 or so, are all sort of additive, left to right sweeps, swooshes, really cool and funky ins and outs, very panned, very echoed, very processed. The drums and stabs are literally just a bunch of kits that we got, which vary tremendously in the genres and the types. So it's not all dubstep, it's not all just electronic. It's just 3 amazing kits of general drums, and they're layered in most cases, and they are really nicely mastered, so you guys can use these as your leads or just use them as little fill-ins, rolls. Get creative with them. There's tons of drums. They're not even on the market yet. They're from masterproducers.com, and they're not even on that site, and that site isn't even selling them yet either, so you guys get sort of first dibs on these. The rest up until the wub shots are voxed, both short and long. What? So you press a few of the keys together and you get some seriously crazy effects processed just right. We also leave them raw enough for you guys so you can still add a bit of reverb, add a bit of processing yourselves. Speaking of that, we have a little onboard reverb pan, ADSR rack, and LFO rate and depth. These probably won't be too handy until you find a sound that's just a straight good wah that doesn't have any LFOs or chops or processing to it yet, so you can add your own bit of LFO and depth. But on some of these, this could still sound a little bit cooler than the original. You'll have to play with it yourselves to really even see the difference. I'm not going to bother. You guys can go in there and mess around with that, and there's some more controls up here for the rest of the functions. A quick little bender. Oh yeah, right, for whatever reason our bender doesn't work on the WobbleBoss for Macs. Okay, so once you get through this and you start making your tracks and whatnot, and you figure like these samples are amazing, but for whatever reason you don't like this. I know for some reason once in a while this crashes Logic. Any big AU crashes any DAW once in a while, so it's unfortunate, but it does happen. So what I'll do next is quickly teach you guys how to grab those samples and then turn them into EXS folders and patches so that you guys can not use this if you don't want to. I mean, I want you guys to, but really all this is a beautifully packaged AU that holds and houses a bunch of WAV files. So I want you guys to have those WAV files so that you guys can do what you want with them as well with other gear, other samplers, and process them more yourself. So we've opened it up for you. We'll close this up. I'll start a new session in Logic, and we will import them through the EXS sampler. Okay, so we're starting another new project, create a software instrument, and this time we'll go to I/O and choose our EXS sampler, stereo. Up here, make sure you're on no instrument. As you can see, I have tons. I love this thing. I'm slowly switching over or transitioning or using both now, PC and Mac. And when I transitioned over and found this thing, very, very impressed. So, no instrument, and then edit. And that'll bring up this screen. This is literally your keys. Okay, what we'll do is, those 5 folders you downloaded, we gotta go find those. Okay. My folder's structure is messy because I'm making the samples on here and I'm finalizing them and making them into the packs. So don't worry about all this. You find your 5 sample packs that you downloaded, you double click on one, you'll have 2 packs in there, and each of these will line up nicely on your keys. So we'll double click on that. You can literally Apple A for everything and drag it all over. Tell it you want to start at, let's say, C-1. You might even have to go to C-2 in a few of these, but we'll go to C-1. So it'll start 1 octave below the normal one that it normally starts at. Okay, and then from here to here, we've just lined up all the samples. One thing we have to do is click anywhere on this screen and Apple A again and unclick the one shot. Okay? Now that all those are blank, you can close, and on the close it'll ask you to save. And you say sure. You should end up with 10 in total once you do this through all the packs. There's 5 packs and then 2 in each. So once we're in here, I'll name this WobbleBoss 1A. It already exists. Oh, I already did this. That's right. Okay, so I'm going to cancel. And because it's already in here, I'm just going to close and not save. You will save. So now what I do is, all right, I did all of them already a while ago. Okay, so here they all are. So now I'll go to WobbleBoss 1A, and actually let's go to the 5A because these samples are my favorite. Okay, they'll all be lined up just like they are in the WobbleBoss, but now they're on the EXS sampler. One more thing I'll show you how to do here is, let's say you do want to span some of these. No instrument, edit. I'm not sure which pack has the spans. I believe it's 4. There we go. So let's say we want to take just this one guy. We'll put him in here. He's now spanned across all the keys. Undo that. Or just click on them delete, grab a couple of them, and then it'll ask you how you want to span them. You can use that interface, or you can use this one here, where you literally move this guy over here, drag right to the next octave, and you can tell this that you want it to go from C2 to C3. Or it'll do it for you automatically. So it's very easy to just take the samples and start assigning them. And once you do it once, you're good to go. It might seem like a bit of a bitch to do this from the get-go, but if I was on a Mac strictly, I'd be using the, I do actually use the EXS quite a bit. And then you'll have to set the obviously the where it starts at, what note it's supposed to start at. And to do that, you literally just click, hold, and drag. So that if you want this to start at C4, you literally got to drag this up to C4. Probably could double click in there too. Yeah, you can. Okay, so double click or click, hold, and drag. Okay, so once you're all set up and you have all your wobbles made and you've spanned a few, if you wanted to span any of them, it's really literally as easy as duplicating this a few times. And each time you're on one of these, just double click on the EXS part. It'll pop up for you, and you can change that now to 4. Change this one to 3. And you start intertwining your wobbles. Okay, so there you go. WobbleBoss on a Mac, standalone, and downloading all the files so that you have them as waves in EXS. Enjoy making music. Peace out. Oh yeah, lastly, before I go, I forgot that GarageBand also takes VST. So if you don't have Logic, something you can quickly do is, I'm brand new to Mac, so this might take me a while, but from what I remember, you literally click on the piano, and down here you'll have all your VSTs. Cool. So select WobbleBoss from here, give it a moment, then click on the interface part, and it'll pop up here. Okay, so same thing. I don't know how to use GarageBand. I've never used GarageBand. I've heard nothing but not good things about GarageBand, but nonetheless, it doesn't look all that bad now that I'm in here. Looks kind of nice. Very basic, but it is what it is. So if this comes with all Macs, which I believe it does, then you can still utilize our VSTs within GarageBand. Okay, so enjoy.